All right, good afternoon and evening to some people. We're just going to give it a moment for everyone to log in. Welcome. It's good to see everybody. I'm glad you all are taking interest in coming. This is a great thing we're doing. So, give it another minute or two. Let's give everybody another about 30 more seconds and then we'll get started. This is being recorded and everyone will get a copy of the presentation and the slides after. There's some pretty good resources on here for you all. So, you'll be able to have that to your disposal as well. So wait till 6:02 and then we'll go ahead. Well, 6:02 my time, but so everyone's in diverse areas. It's pretty cool. All right. So I'll go ahead and get started. My name is Jeffrey Williams. I'm the Director of Career Services for online for Miller-Motte College. Today, we're going to be doing a resume building and job search workshop. The purpose of this is to make sure you are prepared. Of course, a lot of you have worked hard to get through your classes. We have amazing instructors. We have an amazing career advisor team, a career services department overall, and you all have worked very hard to get to this point, and we want to make sure that all the great things you learn in class um, and through your instructors and through our programs is shown on your resume. We have great employer partners who know who we are, and we want to make sure that you are prepared and you have a pretty good resume and understand the next steps with the job search. So we can go ahead and get started. If you go to the next slide. All right. So I'm here with Penny, and Penny is right here. Penny is on my team. Very, very great resource. Some of you have already spoken to her. So with that said, we're going to go through some of this. We're going to just overview what career services does. A lot of you probably already heard from some of our staff. We'll introduce some of them to you, and we'll go from there. So, and then you go to the next slide. Sorry. All right. So, what does career services do? Of course, the biggest thing we're going to talk about today is doing professional resume assistance. So, we're going to help you build and optimize your resume. So, what that means is we're not just going to have you do a basic resume, but we're going to have it prepared. So, by the time you start applying to jobs and when you start attending career events or talking to employers, you're going to have something tangible that has your skills and everything that you've learned in class for the applicant tracking system, all the way to anything that's going to have you prepared. We do job search guidance. So we're going to connect you with opportunities in your field. We're going to show you the best ways to look for jobs. A lot of times folks just know about Indeed. They know about Career Builder. There's many other resources. There's anything from LinkedIn to ZipRecruiter to even how to network in person or network online. We have LinkedIn profile optimization. A lot of you are on LinkedIn, and we want to make sure that we work with you to make it perfect. LinkedIn is the new way of applying to jobs as well. I've seen people get jobs just simply hopping on there and replying to a post, and their profile got noticed. And we're going to do interview coaching as well. Penny is really, really good with that. We'll record you, look at your mannerisms, look at what you say. Sometimes we'll even show you how to interview in person versus maybe preparing for a Zoom interview or going through Teams and preparing for that. And then a big one, employer networking. You will be seeing invites in the future to employer workshops or employer hiring events. And on top of that, we will connect you directly with recruiters and different hiring managers with many of our employer partners. And of course, the certification support. We have amazing program directors and instructors who are already talking to you about this, but we're going to show you how to leverage those certifications, put it on your resume, and then we're going to show you how we can get you in front of particular employer partners who are looking for these specific certifications. So we can go to the next slide. All right, so this is our wonderful team. Many of you should have already and probably already speaking to a lot of us. So we have Sherry in Arizona. She does the business programs, the construction and trades management, and early childhood education. And I won't go through each of these, but some of our biggest partners, we have KinderCare, Bright Horizon, Booz Allen Hamilton, Amazon, Aerotech. For them, Janina is in South Carolina, and of course, no matter where you live, we'll work with you no matter where you live. So don't feel like you have to be in these states. But Janina is in South Carolina. She does farm tech, dental assisting, and allied health management. And then Bridget is in Texas, or where I'm from as well. She does medical coding and billing, and healthcare IT. You go to the next slide. And then, of course, we have Felice in Illinois. She does medical assisting. We have Charles in Louisiana. He does medical coding and healthcare IT. He works closely with Bridget. So I believe they're split by alphabet. So you'll probably be talking to both of them at some times as well. They work together. And then, of course, Penny, who's on this call, does IT. All right. So what we do, so as I mentioned before, and I'll touch on this a little bit more in depth. So we not only partner with companies that understand our needs, because every partner that we work with, we don't send out what you call blind job listings. Every single partner we work with understands what Miller-Motte College does. They understand the programs we have. They understand what we do, and they know the kind of students we're looking for. Many of them have hired our folks already. They're very excited about the programs we offer. We share exclusive job postings. So what that means is, for example, we can have someone, for example, Amazon Web Services, and they will say, "Hey, we need 10 people for IT help desk position," or we'll have someone from Bright Horizon say, "Hey, we need 12 KinderCare teachers or teachers for a center, or we need a center director with an associate's degree," or what have you. I'm just giving examples. What we do is I will have the CSAs, your career advisors, send it to you all directly, and they will work with you to have your resume match exactly what they need. So by the time you talk to them, you will be prepared. You will be prepared with the interview and with your resume. And that's what we mean by having exclusive job postings. We will not send you something blind and say, "Hey, just apply and hope you hear back." We want to make sure we bridge that connection. So that's a big thing. And then we're going to be organizing networking events, employer spotlights, in which you will be getting some invites to in the very, very near future. I have a couple that's on the horizon in the next month. And in those situations, same thing. You will have a resume to come and talk to them and be prepared. And so we'll match your skills with their requirements. We'll make sure we provide instructions, not just to you, but I will have the hiring managers know what to look for with you all. So you are very prepared. And then we also have, for those who served our country, we also have veteran preferred employers as well. So that's a wonderful thing. And then, of course, this is going to build relationships all over every field. And we can keep this going for other alumni. And just if you want to continue your education, a wonderful thing is you can continue to work with them and then pursue your education. And perhaps there's some employers who actually might assist with that. And there are some that have those programs, and I would let them speak to that during their info sessions. We can go to the next slide. So I'll let Penny take it from here, but basically we're going to talk about how a resume stands out. And Penny, if you'd like to go from here to the next few slides. So.
Sure. So crafting a resume that stands out, this is really important. And one of the things that I want to mention right off the bat is a resume is a marketing document. It's how you bring yourself to the market. It's how you present yourself to employers. I think that a lot of us think that a resume is just like I just kind of put all my jobs down and I just kind of list all my jobs and that's just me. But it is not. It's a lot more than that. It's about what you can offer to an employer and how to position yourself to go into the market. So when you start to understand that, You start to sort of think it through a little bit more. Like, I'm selling myself to an employer, so what do I want that to look like? At Career Services, we're really happy to help you with your resume. What we find is really helpful is if you write us a draft first. Let us know the scope of your experience, what you've done in all different capacities, and then we can work together to help you shape it into a document that will stand out to employers. I wrote down a little basics. I have about 12 basic tips for you, which I wanted to share for you today. So, one of the first tips that I wanted to say is even when you're doing a draft of your resume, it is not personal. So, it's a more formal document. So we don't use the word I. Hi, here I am. I'm Penny. I'm enthusiastic. I want to work there. That you can do on LinkedIn, which is a little bit more informal. But on a resume, it is much more of a formal document and it needs much more of a formal tone. So, professional, IT professional with background in medical, seeking to make career transition. Like, we use what we call the third person. So it's really important that your resume has a formality of tone. And don't worry about like the fancy, oh, well, I can't write that formal. Just to understand that that's kind of the tone, will help you fix
Yep.
that up.
Yep.
Okay. So don't worry about it. But just so you don't have to start with the I.
Mhm.
Another thing I wanted to share with you is that you do not have to mention every single job you've ever done since high school.
It's a big one.
It's not that relevant. Anything that's kind of older than 7 years is probably obsolete anyway. We are trying to position you as professionals in the market. We
Mhm.
don't need the high school stuff.
Yep.
That's for another time. So we want to see what you've been doing the last 5 years, the last 7 years. That's what we're focusing on. Any job that you've done, even if you haven't done a job that's related to the field that you're in, I want to encourage you to think about things that you did that could be similar. For example, if you worked at Amazon and you were scanning, you're using technology. And if you're in an IT program, you can bring to the table, well, I worked with technology, or I worked with this program, or I worked with this type of software, or I used the computer systems and cash registers. Whatever you've done that can be even a little bit related, put it on.
Yep.
We'll fix it up.
Transferable
We'll
skills.
we'll yeah, it's called transferable
Yep.
skills. So don't discount
Yep.
anything that you've done in your past that you think you can find a
Mhm.
little thread that can connect you to where you want to go.
Mhm.
Another thing is that let me see here. Um, yeah, the applicant tracking systems. So a lot of times there are a lot of, every industry has its own words. Now, in the old days, or the days when I was around, people did paper resumes and they just sent the resumes out. Now things have changed and companies received hundreds and hundreds of resumes a day. In order for them to be able to shift through those resumes, there are systems or bots or machinery that will look at the resume for relevant words. So it's important that you find in your resume some words that belong in your industry that you can put in there.
Oh yeah.
A lot of times, what we do in career services is we try to incorporate some of your education, because some of your education has the terminology, has the words.
Mhm.
So it's important to try to find as many words as possible that are related to your profession, and try to integrate them as much as you can. Another thing that we really like to do is one of the biggest tricks and biggest hacks for finding the right language for your resume is look at the job posting. Find a job posting that you really like,
Yep.
and then look at the language that they're using. Look at the words that are in
Oh, yeah.
that in that job posting.
Key.
That will give you really great tricks into what kind of words need to be on your resume. So we also so those are kind of some of the bigger things. And Jeffrey, you can definitely pop in if I'm forgetting anything.
Of course.
Um,
Great.
here there's some key sections also, which I'm gonna go into a little bit. Contact information. Please, please, please do not have a cute email. Nobody likes a cute email. It's not professional. We also, I just want to say this because everybody thinks it's really clever that they put their birthday on their email. I'm not sure that that's to anybody's advantage, because then an employer can see how old you are, and that could either work to your advantage or your disadvantage.
Exactly.
I'll get resumes that say, 02, 02, 02, 1997. So, you're 27 years old, so you want to stay away from that kind of information.
Yeah.
You want to have a professional sounding resume that looks like something that would be presentable to an employer. And then, there can be a key summary at the beginning. And as I've spoken about that, in that key summary, you just want to make sure that you are writing it in a more formal tone. And like I said, we can help you with that. Your work experience, you want to have bullet points. Nobody likes to read, and everybody at best is scanning a resume. I want to tell you that the average employer
Mhm.
looks at a resume for 3 to 5 seconds. So they don't read big chunks. So that's why we like things to be in bullet point, because that really helps anybody who's scanning just see the key things that they need to see. Also, really, really super important. The front page of your resume is prime real estate.
Mhm.
That is the place where all your certifications should be, all your education should be. You need to grab the attention of the employer. And so if you put that information on the second page, if they don't like your work experience, you've already lost them. So any information that pertains to the direction you want to go in, certifications and education in the direction that you're studying, should be front page center of your resume. Let's see here. Translating military experience into civilian. Maybe you could speak a little to that, Jeffrey.
Okay.
Just
So
the military one.
of course. So basically, what that's saying, for example, if you're in logistics or infrastructure or different fields, a lot of times, whether that's IT or constructions, trade management, or even business, um, there's different, same thing what you're saying, like transferable skills. Sometimes you use certain terms like SOC analysts or iconas. I'm not going to get into all that right now, but there's certain terms and such that are only military specific. So what that's saying is, we'll work with you to make sure that there's terms that civilians understand, because not every hiring manager or recruiter is going to understand particular language or acronyms from the military. So that's what I mean. So we'll basically, because a lot of you, if you're in the military and you're transitioning to the civilian world, they're not going to be privy all the time. So it's kind of humanizes it a little bit more, and it makes it more marketable. That's all.
Awesome. Awesome. And now the other thing also, another thing that's really, really important to think about, which I want to share with you, is that when we're looking at your resume, we don't only want to see the tasks that you did. We want to know if you accomplished anything. What did you achieve? Were you able to serve,
Mhm.
40, 50 customers a day? Were you able to manage 20 team members per day? Accomplishments, measurable achievements are something that we as employers are really going to look at. And that's really something that can also make your resume stand out amongst others. It's not only the list of all the tasks that you did, but also anything that you're proud of, anything that's an achievement. And you got to get used to talking about the things that you're proud of, because employers want to know why they should hire you.
It is okay.
So,
I would say it's okay to toot your own horn. Just be humble. Be
yes.
humble about it. Be humble. But if you
But
accomplish, yeah, if you were the top
yeah,
salesperson for 3 out of 4 quarters, say it and why. Make sure you
absolutely.
say why. You say the why and how. Don't just say I was. They're going to want to know how. There might be a
Yeah.
model there. So go ahead, Penny. I'm sorry.
Yeah, good. No, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you, Jeffrey. Quantifiable. We want to see
Yes.
quantifiable. So that's actually really, really important because a lot of times in resumes we just see tasks and we don't
Mhm.
see actually what the person has accomplished. So it's really, really important.
On that real quick too. And the reason that is
Yes.
important, I want to touch on that really quick. It's very, very vital. For instance, if 50 people apply to the same job, let's say let's just say it's the same job. Let's say it's a first grade teacher, right? And everyone wants 50 people apply to that first grade teacher job. And 44 resumes say, I taught them their ABCs. I made sure that they played on the playground. I made sure that they didn't wet themselves and, use the bathroom on themselves, what have you. That's great. We know you can do the job. But then if you're one of the others who say, well, I created a reading program that made my
Mhm.
that made and because I did that reading program and got the parents involved, 100% of my students passed the standardized test. That's
Boom.
in their mind, one,
Yeah.
you stand apart from the other 44 people, and two, say you want to become a principal or an assistant principal one day, you've demonstrated ability to do well and achieve and work with the community, work with parents. So you're not only setting yourself aside, but showing you have skills that set you up in better ways. So just one example.
100%. Oh,
And
that's
we
so
and,
good.
and our team will work with you to do that. That's why
Yeah.
and I'll get on that in a second. That's why we want to draft, and I'll get to that in a second. So go ahead, Penny. It's great information.
No, absolutely. That was so well
So
said. And so I'll pass it on to
no,
you
just
then
go,
for career
oh,
edge. Oh,
go back. Sorry, on the career edge. So with that said, and we'll go through the specifics. The biggest thing is I want you all to have a resume for you all out there who do not have one. If you do not have a draft already or just one already, you should have already got a career edge login. If you don't, please reach out to your CSA as soon as possible. We'll get it to you. They have a they have a resume builder in there that'll walk you through it, put in anything you need. Um, from your contact information to walking through each job and helping you identify anything you need to do with your experience. It is okay if you don't think it's great already. We just want you to have a draft. So by the time you get to 45 days within graduating, or probably sooner, it's okay to make an appointment sooner if you're ready. Sooner the better, right? Um, we can get it together so we can make sure that you have whatever you could be prepared for whatever certifications are needed and to get in front of an employer. You go to the next slide. And just like I was saying, so this is important because we want to make sure you're successful. The goal here is to have a resume ready for you. And when you have your exit interview with your CS with your career advisor, we want to make sure by the time you're done with that exit interview, you have a resume and you are ready to start applying for jobs. You know what jobs to apply for, how to look for jobs, and you will have jobs to apply for. We will match you with jobs that you need to look for in your area or anywhere else if you want to relocate, work remotely. Don't limit yourself to remote work, but there's more opportunities out there, but anything that's going to be beneficial to you. But we want to make sure you are ready. So by the time you are graduating, you should already be getting interviews or you should already be leveraging your job search. We want you to be prepared before you're done. So that, hey, what's the best thing? You go to graduation, you're already saying, hey, I have interviews or I have some job leads. So it's awesome. And you can go to the next slide. All right, Penny, if you want to speak on this.
Oh, okay. So I am also an interview specialist, and I wanted to just share a few interview pointers. Everything that we're doing, obviously, is to set you up to be able to walk through that door and have an interview. And one of the biggest mistakes that I see that people make, because interviewing, like everything else, is a skill, is something you learn. And one of the biggest things that people do is they walk into an interview thinking, I want to learn. I want to start my career. I want to learn. Where the mindset is a little bit different. It's not about what the company can do for you. It's about what you can do for the company. That's what distinguishes you as someone interviewing. Now you might be saying, "Yeah, but Penny, I mean, I don't have that much experience. What am I going to do for a company?" What you're going to do is you bring into that you're an independent worker. Do you know how hard it is to go to school and learn remotely and to be disciplined and to show up and to pass when you have to be accountable to yourself, that is a major skill that you've acquired by doing a large online program as you're doing now. There are opportunities for you. You are enthusiastic, willing to do what it takes, not afraid to learn, not afraid to start at the bottom. There are things that you're bringing to the table in terms of enthusiasm that an employer will be impressed with. And so you need to show them that, because an employer isn't looking at it like, how am I going to help you? They want to know, what am I getting for my money? And so part of the responsibility when you show up in an interview is to show them, you know, this is what I got to offer. I may not have an experience, but I am going to work hard and I'm going to do what it takes because I know what it takes.
Mhm.
And this is how an interviewer gets interested in you.
Mhm.
It, another thing too is that yeah, well, I just said that, they want to see their ROI, which is an interviewer wants to see what is their return on the investment they're
Oh
going
yeah.
to pay you. What are they getting?
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, and when you start thinking like an employer, a lot of times we go into our jobs or
Mhm.
our interviews thinking like a person looking for a job. But what happens when you're thinking about it from the point of view of an employer? What are they looking for?
Mhm.
And how can I best play to what they're looking for? How
Mhm.
can I showcase who I am for what they're looking for? So that's really, really important. Just a couple of other quick things. Sometimes first interviews are taking place on Zoom. You
Mhm.
have to be professionally set up when you're on Zoom. You got to have decent light, no clutter in the back. You've got to be in a quiet room.
Mhm.
It's got to look like you're in an office. We don't want to see your bed in the background. We don't want to see, everybody loves our pets, but we don't need to see them. So if you have to do a first interview by Zoom, it's important that you take some time to set yourself up properly because this is their first impression of
Yeah.
you.
Big one.
If you're so fortunate as to be able to go to see someone in person, then part of it is also to be able to dress professionally, have a professional demeanor. Do not be on your phone. If you
Mhm.
need to take notes, take a notepad,
Mhm.
write down notes, have hard copies of your resume, and be
Two.
and know that you're there to be who you are and why you matter and why they are going to have a great experience by hiring you. So that's what we do in career services. Part of what I'm telling you right now is how we prepare you for interviews so that when
Yeah.
you do get an interview, we're going to prepare some questions.
Mhm.
You have to be able to answer some main, tell us about yourself.
Mhm.
You've got to
That's
practice those
harder.
answers,
That's harder
and
than
that's what
you
we're
think,
there for.
and that's harder than what you think sometimes, because you
Oh
overthink.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
we'll prepare you, and and we'll tell you little cheat codes too, like to prepare some companies, some people. I'm not sure if you all heard of like Glassdoor.com. You can look on websites like that where some people put the interview questions already. Just little things like that. But you would ideally how this would work is you would say, hey, I have an interview at company X on Tuesday. And we would
Yeah.
say, oh, let's meet. Let's go over
Yeah.
this. And we will prepare you. And if we want to get on camera and do it, we could, if it's a phone interview, we'll do it over the phone so I can hear your voice. Cause sometimes we don't realize we're stuttering or we have our young kids in the background or our dogs. I know about that one. They want in on action. So Penny, that's great information.
Yeah, so and another thing that's really important in the end is to follow through. So after you've had your interview, not to forget to send a thank you. Even a week later, you can send a thank you again.
Right.
It also puts them back in your mind. It
Yeah.
kind of makes them think about you again. So we can go through a lot of these one by one. Just wanted to give you a sort of an overview on how we look at interviews and what our approach to interviews is like, so that we can help you shine.
That was good. All right. So this is subject matter expert here with that. Um, also just want to touch on Career Edge again. It's very important you all use this. So we do have what you call a job board in there. We have we connect with employers on the day to day, every day, who have their own job boards, but we also encourage them strongly to um, post their job listings in there. So we have some top employers in there. The cool thing is they could see your resumes in there. When you could apply jobs in there, it goes straight to them. So they get notified. And you have job alerts. So you can set up job alerts where if you want specifically, say you are in business, so you want specific HR jobs or accounting jobs, you could set up accounting jobs, HR jobs in this city, remote, what have you. You could do that. And then there's resume templates, there's cover letter guides. And we'll, of course, remember, just to reiterate, that if you want us to help, we want you to come to us.
Mm.
We will finalize it for you. This career edge is just to get you the guide and the outline. So if you look at it and it's not complete in your mind, that's fine. We will complete it. And make sure you log in regularly because there's new opportunities being added every day. I'm in there every day. Employers are in there. Every employer I talk to, I send them the link. The link is in my email signature when I talk to them, so they know. And you can customize it, like I said, by the program, your industry, your location, and by you applying directly, it goes right to them. It's not them on their system talking to everybody all over the country. They know this is a Miller-Motte graduate that is applying to this, and they get the direct notification, and they can go and look at your resume anytime they want. So have it in there. And the other part too, you don't always have to apply directly. Still apply, but they can also see you. So they can see your resume in there and they could go looking. So that's why it's important with us to do what you call the applicant tracking system. So we'll have certain keywords in 2025 that they're looking for. So
Yeah.
I got it. And then all right, so I'll go through this. So with LinkedIn, that's another big one, and I cannot stress enough how important LinkedIn is, especially today. Just some quick tips before I go into this. LinkedIn is not Facebook. LinkedIn is not Instagram. We all love the pictures with the peace sign and what have you. That's great for social media, but for this, either if you're a new grad, use your graduation photo. If you're a military veteran, it's okay to use your veteran photo for the first year until you get your first job, then change it. And in general, if you have a shirt, your best day, with a shirt and tie or a collared shirt. If you don't want to look too formal, that's okay. But do not have the one with your dogs, holding your dogs or your kids. That's wonderful. You have loved ones, but that is not what they see as someone being too serious. You don't want to do that. So, of course, just some quick things. I'm sure everyone's heard of LinkedIn, but LinkedIn, you connect with not just employers but recruiters. It works just like Facebook. So if you're good with Facebook and talking about posts, look at it professionally. One thing I will encourage, if you follow recruiters, and our CSAs and myself will send out recruiters with each of our partners that you could follow, engage with them. Don't just follow them and request them. But if they post something, hey, everyone, I noticed today, if they have a post about something and you relate to it, comment, do some research, get noticed. And a lot of times what I love is if you comment, it'll pop up on the news feed for your followers and your other connections. So they'll see that you're engaging. They might see something powerful you said, or they might say, hey, who on here has this kind of certification? Or who on here took classes about this? Respond, because they're looking for something specific. They want to see who's engaging with them. So like I said, get your in your about section. We'll help you with all this, of course. Just
Yeah.
have a draft for us. Please have a draft for us. That's all we ask. So have something set up. Your about section. It's great to say, hey, I'm a professional going into IT. I'm a professional
Mhm.
going into it's great to say I'm a professional going into pharmacy tech. That's great. But we'll have something more compelling, like, okay, I'm winging it, but IT professional, current security plus candidate looking to go into hardware installation or what have you. Very excited and passionate about A, B, and C. Or formerly working here, looking to transition over here, very passionate about this skill, this skill, this skill. You know, these are things that'll pop up in a search. And in your about me section, you will put help desk specialist, what have you, or teach or early childhood professional, certified in this, good with that, so and you will put it, and we will go over that with you. So just get us a draft. But this is what our department does to make sure that you are set up for success, not just with your resume, not with interviewing, but just having your own personal brand. And LinkedIn is a brand. You're visible. They see you, and it
Mhm.
stands out more. And a lot of times employers are not going to tell you, but before they call you or mark you down for a phone interview, they are looking you up. They're not going to always tell you, but they're looking you up. So make sure you have that good first impression, and we'll help you with that. So And another wonderful thing about LinkedIn as well is the alumni connections. You could search Miller-Motte College graduates.
Yeah.
You can even go down to industries or fields and see who else was in IT or business or farm tech or dental assisting, medical assisting, what have you. You can actually type in Miller-Motte College and then in a keyword type in early childhood education or whichever job you're looking for. And it'll pop up with everyone who actually are in the field. Connect with them, talk to them, because they will tell you, one, they could tell you what you need to do. And two, guess what? That's a direct connection, a referral. That's networking. They do not mind. I love when people who went to my school, my alumni, contacts me and say, "Hey, what are you doing these days? Where are you at?" Because I want us to represent and I want to help our fellow man or woman. So we do headshots. We'll work with you. We'll get us something. There's different ways I can tell you which ones I can we can enhance it. Um, and then we can also, like I said, enhance your resume or LinkedIn. Some people like resumes that have a headshot depending on the field. So that's and we'll tell you, when it's appropriate or not. And then but like I said, the most important thing with LinkedIn is this is your professional image. So
Mhm.
first impression. And then as I said, I keep walking right into what I'm saying next. So like I said, and one more thing too I wanted to speak on is when you do have that interview, and of course we want to get you here, it is very, very important to send that thank you letter. A lot of folks do not think about this. They think when
Yep.
they're done, they're going to be remembered. So, like Penny said earlier, this is and some people have different beliefs on if you do it the same day, 24 hours later. Do it within 24 hours is my
Mhm.
suggestion. If your interview is on a Friday, do it on Monday morning.
Yeah.
If it's on a Monday, do it Wednesday morning, Tuesday night, evening. So they walk into it first thing, And it also reinforces that you're interested in the job because sometimes they might think you're not interested by your body language, or they might feel like, oh, this might not be good enough for them. We might not pay them enough, so you want to do that. And then finally, so just overall, your success is our priority. We want to make sure that you have a digital presence. We want to make sure that your resumes are ready to apply with these, with our employer partners is very important. And the biggest thing is too, we're gonna have networking opportunities for you all. So we'll have workshops. We'll put you right in front of employers. We just need you to meet us halfway, have a draft, work with our folks, schedule appointments with your CSAs, have a draft of your resume. Once you get off here, take time this week. I know you're busy. A lot of you who are still in class, do your schoolwork first. You do your schoolwork, but get that resume, ready. Make an appointment with your CSA. They have Google links. If you do not know how to find it, we will just reach out to us. We will get it to you. They should have already sent an email or something to you already. So that's fine. They've already reached out. But if you need that, just reach out and we will definitely help you get ready. We want to have you interviewing and hopefully employed by the time you graduate. That's our goal. So, is there any questions anyone has in the audience? And thank you all for attending
Thank
today.
you. Yeah.
I think let me see something. Okay, I can see some of the questions, everyone. So just fun. So Diane, I see one of the questions that were asked. It says, "What's the best way to build it?" So I did see, as I mentioned, Career Builder. I'm not Career, but I'm sorry, Career Edge is one
Mhm.
way. So if you do not have one or you're not sure where to start, go to Career Edge, and it'll walk you through it. And once you have something, your CSA will work with you to not only reformat it, but make sure that there's better applicant tracking system words on there to get you prepared and rewrite some of your descriptions. Um, Diamond, I love
Oh,
how you spell your name. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
yeah. No, I was gonna read it. What if you haven't worked in a while because I'm a stay-at-home mom? Can I
Of
still do a
course.
resume?
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, first, if you're a stay-at-home mother, that's a job in itself. So commendable to you. There's nothing wrong
Mhm.
with that. And two, um, that's a blessing of motherhood. So thank you for sharing that. With that said, that's a job in itself. So any skills you've done, if you've taken typing classes, if you've done certain things, if you've done homeschooling, there's many different ways that you can show that some of your experience either working at home, taking certain trainings or what have you, these are lucrative. And that's something that you would do during your meeting with your CSA, is you would discuss specific things because you don't realize it. For example, there was one single mother, I believe she volunteered at a library. She did not realize, and she was in the IT program. She did not realize just volunteering at the library, she was doing more than reading with the kids. She was helping them with the computer. She was helping them log on and off. She was helping troubleshoot things. Guess what? Transferable skills.
Yeah.
She was doing organizing in the database, putting the books, returning the books. That's database management. And she was helping fix the computer and the printer. Guess what? That's hardware installation. They might not be directly IT, but they're skills that show that you're doing something. We will work with you to mention that. So that's a very good question.
Yeah, people also do accept career breaks. A lot of times,
With COVID.
people will finish school and then
Yep.
they'll take a year off, they'll have a career break, whatever they're doing. I mean, as long as that career break isn't like 5 years, but it's perfectly understandable that people would have a 6 month to a year career
Mhm.
break off pursuing other things. So that's also very accepted in the industry.
And further to just to be clear too, and this is a wonderful thing you said, the hiring managers every day look at job boards and they are out here. They know what the economy is like. They know what's going on. They're human beings and they understand COVID happened. They understand there's things going on right now. So they understand, they know the trends every day. So don't be fooled. The only time they'll look at that is if they see that, 2004, you got out of high school and you didn't do anything. But if they see you're pursuing school or what have you, they know you're trying to get out there. So they know that. And that's why it's so important in that initial phone interview and when you're filling out the application. They might have a question that says, please explain why there's any gaps. There's cute questions usually there. Is there anything else you'd like us to know? Tell them. I was a single mother. I wanted to make sure A, B, and C. They know that. And that's actually commendable to a lot of them because they say, oh, you're getting back out there. You're mentally ready. Because sometimes if you are a new mother, you might not have time to dedicate to a job. They know that. So,
Mhm.
and I think we kind of just addressed the all right. So Aaliyah asks, I have a question. What if you have never worked in an office or professional setting? I've only worked as a cashier, but I hope getting my degree, I can do more of an adult job. Well, first, I actually said an adult job. That's a very good question. So similar to what I said about transferable skills, and this is we work with you on this. So just because you were a cashier, you did cash management, you use probably two or three machines. I know for a fact if you work at Burger King, hello, I did. There were two or three systems. McDonald's, some understanding, has updated their systems. I know Chick-fil-A system. I mean, I've even seen it because they always confuse my order because they have a new machine. Doing something like that, management. Guess what? Balancing your timesheet. If you're an assistant manager or shift manager, you're doing different troubleshootings. You're
Yeah.
doing business management. That's management experience. If you have to do terminations or shift changes or shift scheduling, guess what? That's HR management. HR is something that we do. That's in the business. If you have done crew work or what have you, and you've had to use some of the machines, guess what? That's trades management. So even though it's not directly in the fields, you have some kind of transferable skill that we can definitely put out there. Having that degree shows that you understand it now. You're ready to move to the next step.
Yeah, and you also have things like trustworthy,
Mhm.
dependable, attention to detail.
Oh
Like
yeah,
there's also the
soft skills.
soft
Yeah,
skill parts as well that also can be featured in your resume as well. There's something to be said about someone who's punctual, reliable, dependable, and team player.
yeah.
So those are also things you can add.
These are good questions, everyone. After graduation, I was interested in working in a hospital setting. Will that be possible? The healthcare industry is one of the most highest industry, yeah, highly hot industries right now. So you would definitely talk to your CSA. We definitely have a lot of partners in the healthcare industry. That is definitely possible. And hospitals are being built. I live in the Washington D.C. area, and there's two within 5 miles of my house being built. Inova and MedStar. So they're always expanding, especially with all the new CDC research and stuff going on right now. It's coming up. So, good question. Um,
Mhm.
will we learn to negotiate pay? Yes. So after you get that job offer, you know, that's a wonderful feeling. Contact us.
Mhm.
We'll tell you how to negotiate. And there's different ways to do that while you're leveraging your experience. You can mention certain certifications, what have you have, in reference to the Department of Labor, average salaries. We can go over that. That's a very good question. I like that you're already thinking like, okay, I want my money. I want my I like that.
I want my money. That's
You guys are
great.
kind of interested in getting a remote job setting. Yes, you can definitely. We definitely will look at remote jobs, especially with the hybrid nature of jobs and companies these days. We'll definitely do that. Just personal advice: I would not limit yourself to just
Yeah,
remote work because two things. One, if you're say you live in Cincinnati, Ohio, and you're applying for a job, you're only going up against probably 85% of applicants are in that area, which is not as big as a pool. If you apply to the same job that's remote, you're going against probably 1,000 other people. So, because everyone wants to work remotely, so you of course will stand out, but you don't want to limit yourself. You want to be as marketable as possible, and a lot of these jobs are hybrid. Some jobs will say if you work here for 3 months, we'll let you work from home 4 days a week. You never know, and that you can actually negotiate that as well. I've seen it, so we'll talk to you about that. But that's a very good
it's
question. Okay.
there's one more point I also want to bring up with that. When you're starting in a new job and you don't have a lot of experience in the field, there is something to be said about working with people who can mentor and guide you.
Mhm.
Remote work is great when you have experience in a job. So, obviously, yes, absolutely what Jeffrey said, there are remote possibilities, but sometimes there's nothing better than being able to go into someone's office or someone's cubicle or get that direct support
Mhm.
when you're first starting out in a job. And then once you've got 6 months, 8 months, a year's experience, then you've got a sense of the job,
Oh,
and so working remotely will make a lot more sense. But at the beginning, sometimes you need that mentorship and you need that guidance, you need support, and you're still in the learning in that first job in your field. So we just encourage you to take that into consideration as well.
exactly. Good, great advice. Davina asks, so once we have a sample of our resume, how do we send it to you and Penny? So schedule an appointment with your career advisor. You should have received an email from them. If not, just reach out. Or if you, whomever in contact with you, whether it's your student service advisor or your CSA, they'll point you to how you schedule an appointment, and you'll be able to go over it that way. But I love that you're already being proactive and wanting to have your resume done and ready to look at. That's what we want.
Woohoo.
Yeah, that's what we want. So everyone take notes from Davina. So, um, Caitlin, I love with the two ends like that. How and where should we contact career services? Should we call the school? Okay. So again, if you did not get a portal pop up, then again, you should have heard from our career service advisor, from your career service advisor. If not, just reach out to your student service advisor, or do a contact form, and uh, we'll reach out to you. A lot of times, if you're currently in class, um, point yet, but you should have heard from us. So that's good that you're all being forward thinking.
Hmm.
And when is it appropriate to ask about salary? That's a good one. After, well, twofold. So this everyone's gonna have a different answer to this. So don't quote me. Please don't quote me. Please don't. But when you first have that first phone interview, a lot of jobs these days are more transparent now.
Yeah.
They have it in their job listing. They'll say, oh, 20 to $25 an hour. I'm just throwing a number out there. They'll say something like that. And you just have it in your mind. But if you don't have one, ask on the first initial interview. I mean, the phone interview. Usually you have a phone screen. They usually ask you if they don't, when they say any questions, just say, hey, what is the average salary of this job, or what is the starting salary range? They don't have a problem with that. Because they don't want to waste your time. If you're looking for $30 an hour and they're offering you 14,
Yeah.
why did they waste your time and their time? So it's okay to ask that. Do not start asking about it after you have your first interview. And then after you get a job offer, that's when you negotiate it. But at that point, you would already kind of have an idea of the range that's set. It's a good question. Tyrena asks, which would be the best suitable retail pharmacy first, and then hospital setting, or what I think is best for me and the knowledge and farm tech information? Which would be Okay, sorry. Which would be best suitable? Retail pharmacy first, and then I'm reading it. Okay, I'm reading it from this perspective. Which would be best suitable? Retail pharmacy first, and then hospital setting, or what I think is best for me and my knowledge in farm tech information. So that's a conversation you probably what meet and have. We'd have to kind of see gauge your interest a little bit more. I can't do that right here. It just depends on your experience, your resume, and your interest, and what's in your area and what you're looking for. But in that field overall, excuse me, whatever whatever's out there and whatever you learn and your suitability, you can, you can do both. It's very diverse. So
Mhm.
you can have your discussion with your career advisor. That's more of a discussion, a one-on-one type thing. Any other questions, anyone? And if not, you all will get a copy of this. So if you have any questions, to my understanding, you can reply to it, and it'll be filtered back to us. I'm not sure about that, but if you will definitely answer anything else you have, or you can go through and hear it again. But oh, sorry, there's one more. Richard asks if you've been retired for years and plan to rejoin the workforce in a different field, should you reference the amount of years outside the workforce? That's a very good question. So first, any experience you have is great. One, like Penny said earlier, it's important not to give away your age. That could be an advantage or disadvantage. So
Yeah.
we would work with you on what would be relevant. So for example, if you've been a fry cook for 15 years, or a sous chef, and then you want to become a second grade teacher, right? I'm sorry, I keep saying teacher. It's the easiest one. Um, we would find out. We would look and see what you did. So if you've done teaching as a chef, or if you've worked with kids or some capacity, we would leverage which experiences are most important. But we would basically trim off what's not completely relevant. And you do not want to outwardly say that you've been retired. Not immediately. That's a conversation you have later, because you want them, like
Mhm.
I said, it's your first impression. That's just my opinion. Everyone's different on that, but there are ways to leverage that. And there's a lot of folks coming out of retirement to work, especially
Yeah.
with different factors in the world and the economy and stuff. They know that.
Yeah.
And I was also say too, that's a great asset to have. We love when people are experienced. They Hiring managers love that. Do not think that you're outdated. The other thing I was going to say is, just make sure if you do that, you make sure you demonstrate to them that you are good with updated technology. That's going to be their biggest question. Can they do Excel? Can they adapt to Zoom and Microsoft Office and PowerPoint, and Microsoft Suite or MacBook or what have you? They want to make sure. That's going to be his biggest question. So make sure you explain in the time you're retired, you were staying updated. That
Yeah.
would be my best advice for that.
Great point. Yeah. Really important.
How do I get a career advisor? You should already have one depending on your program. And when this is sent again, when this is sent out, one of the first slides, I think it was the third or fourth slide, will show what program you're in. It'll show your career advisor, and you'll hear from them. And if not, just speak to your student service advisor, or go on your student portal and you can reach out. Great question. I love y'all are ready to rock and roll.
Yeah.
That's what we want.
Awesome.
So,
Yeah. Really terrific.
any other questions, anyone? I'll give another minute too, because I know it's a little lag, just a little bit.
Such great questions
These
everybody
are,
asks. So thoughtful, like really thought.
and like I said, for those who've
Good thought.
graduated, congratulations on earning your credential. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful school, and then for those of you getting through it, okay, all good. Okay.
Awesome.
All right. And everyone else, good luck to you. So make sure, like I said, action items, get that resume, get a draft in. If you already have one, send it and schedule an appointment with your CSA as soon as possible. We want to get you in front of these employers applying to jobs and ready to get out there in the workforce. And thank you all for
What he said, what Jeffrey said.
good luck to everyone. And thank you for
Good
taking
luck, everyone.
to listen to this. This is wonderful. Can they still hear us?